Most men think women are mysterious, unpredictable, impossible to read. But psychology says something very different. Women are not confusing. They're just communicating on a frequency most men were never trained to hear. Once you understand the hidden psychological signals women naturally give off, reading her mind becomes effortless. You'll know what she feels long before she decides to say it. The first clue lies in micro-expressions, those lightning-fast emotional flashes that appear on her face for less than half a second. Research by psychologist Dr. Paul Ekman, one of the world's leading experts on emotional expression, shows that micro-expressions reveal a person's true feelings even when they try to hide them. When she hears your compliment and her eyes brighten for a split second before she masks it with a neutral look, that first flash is the truth. Women can control their words, but not those tiny, involuntary reactions. But her eyes reveal even more than her face. Studies from the University of Chicago found that when someone feels emotional or romantic interest, their gaze naturally gravitates to the face more than anywhere else. Women will often check you out in quick, subtle glances, especially when they don't want to make their interest obvious. Watch for the repeated look away, the glance, the retreat, the small smile she didn't mean to show. That's her mind speaking before her mouth joins the conversation. Her pupil size is another clue. When a woman feels attraction, excitement, or affection, her pupils widen automatically, something she can't control. In psychology, this is called the dilation effect, and it's one of the oldest biological markers of interest ever documented. If you notice her pupils growing larger when she looks at you, she's feeling something she's not saying. Her voice tone is just as revealing. Research published in the Journal of Social Psychology discovered that people unconsciously speak in softer, warmer tones when they feel attraction or emotional connection. If her voice becomes gentle, melodic, slightly more playful, or slower around you, that's her emotional brain taking over. When she becomes short, dry, or overly formal, she's emotionally distancing, even if her words sound polite. Women also communicate heavily through body orientation. Social behavior studies show that a woman will physically angle herself toward men she feels safe with, connected to, or interested in. If her torso points toward you, if her feet position themselves in your direction, if she leans in while you speak, she's mentally leaning into you too. But if her body subtly turns away or her feet point toward an exit, her mind is preparing to detach. The distance she keeps is never random. Proxemics research, how humans use personal space, reveals that women allow only emotionally significant people into their intimate distance zone. If she lets you stand close without stepping back, if she talks to you with little space between you, if she stays near you longer than needed, that closeness is not accidental. It's emotional permission. Another powerful psychological signal is mirroring. A study from the University of Leipzig shows that when a woman feels genuine comfort or connection, her body automatically mirrors your gestures, posture, and emotional rhythm. If you lean back and she leans back, if you talk with your hands and she starts moving hers the same way, if you slow your voice and hers unconsciously follows, her subconscious is aligning with you long before she admits it out loud. But here's a hidden secret most men never see. Effort reveals everything. Women don't express interest with big dramatic gestures. They express it with consistency. Psychology research repeatedly shows that emotional investment hides in the small details. If she remembers the things you say, if she checks on you without being asked, if she brings up something you told her weeks ago, if she tries to improve your mood when you're stressed, Those micro acts of care reveal a lot more than all her compliments combined. Watch her curiosity. According to cognitive engagement studies, a woman shows heightened curiosity toward a man she's emotionally or romantically drawn to. If she asks about your goals, your past, your habits, your interests, or your future plans, she's mentally exploring where she might fit in your world. If she doesn't ask anything, she's not trying to connect. She's keeping you at arm's length. Another mind-reading signal lies in what she chooses to share. Self-disclosure. Research from the University of Massachusetts found that women reveal deeper personal details only when they feel emotionally safe or attached. If she opens up about her fears, her dreams, or the things that hurt her, she's letting you inside her internal world. That's psychological intimacy, the kind that doesn't happen by accident. Her emotional reactions also expose her attachment. Most men think a woman getting annoyed or jealous is a bad sign, but psychology says the opposite. Emotional intensity, whether positive or negative, means you matter. A woman who is indifferent will not argue, will not react, will not care. But if she gets upset when you pull away, responds quickly when you give distance, or seems affected by your mood, she is emotionally invested. Her silence, on the other hand, doesn't mean she's empty inside. Neuroscience reveals that women process emotions through introspection before expressing them. When she becomes quiet, she is not withdrawing. She's analyzing what she feels and what you feel at the same time. Her silence is often louder than her words if you know how to listen. Pay close attention to how often she initiates contact. Studies on relationship dynamics show that women use subtle initiation patterns, sending memes, asking small questions, reacting to your stories, starting light conversations. These seem small, but they are psychological breadcrumbs that lead to the truth. If she reaches out first, even occasionally, she's thinking about you more than she wants you to know. And then there's behavioral inconsistency, one of the biggest clues. Women say what they think they should feel, but act on what they actually feel. If her actions are warmer than her words, always trust her actions. Psychology calls this emotional leakage, the truth slipping through the cracks. Most importantly, if she gives you emotional access, you've already crossed her boundaries in a meaningful way. Women are selective with their attention, their vulnerability, and their emotional energy. If she shares her mind, her stories, her insecurities, her little joys, or the quiet parts of her life, you're not just in her day, you're in her head. Reading a woman's mind isn't about magic. It's about recognizing the psychological fingerprints she leaves behind. Her eyes, her voice, her distance, her patterns, her curiosity, her tension, her silence, her effort, her inconsistencies, her mirroring, her emotional investment in the small things. When you learn to see these signals, you'll realize something surprising. She was never hiding her feelings. You just weren't trained to understand her language. And now, I'm curious. Which of these signs have you seen in a woman before, and what did it reveal to you?